Hello, movie lovers. Welcome to the MTE Movie Podcast, episode number 9. Jacob Bartley here for Movie Talk Express, the host of the Movie Talk Express podcast. And, man, I'm actually surprised we've been going this strong on the podcast, man. 9 episodes, almost to 10. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, we're doing good. Consistency is everything.
Here with Gio, by the way.
How y'all doing? Hope y'all had a fun weekend.
I'm so excited because this was a weekend that one of my favorite movies of the year came out. It's an exciting time.
Man,
I compare this feeling to when Guardians came out last year. I was so excited because it was something fresh and new from Marvel. Man, it's such a great time.
Now, were you as surprised? Did you have that surprise factor walking out of the theater?
I think I was more surprised by AntMan because I knew it was going to be funny, but I didn't expect it to be so funny and so good and have so much heart.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of AntMan, let's start it off with the box office. The numbers are in. AntMan made $58 million at the box office, which some people are saying. I've talked to a few general movie fans, and they're like, "Oh, why did Ant-Man flop? That's not a flop."
Marvel's first bomb, really?
To everybody who thinks this is a flop, or even thinks it might be a flop, this is not a flop.
Nowhere near. No.
It's not Captain America: Winter Soldier or Guardians of the Galaxy numbers, but you can't expect those Jurassic World type numbers from every blockbuster. Marvel is fine. I think this movie's gonna have legs, and it's gonna be in the top 5 at the box office for a month at least. And so other movies competing this week was Minions. It made $50 million. Trainwreck made $30 million. Inside Out made $11.6 million, and Jurassic World made $11.4. Those were the top 5: Ant-Man, Minions, Trainwreck, Inside Out, Jurassic World. So we know the numbers. We were all last week. Jake, Gio, and I made predictions. We were all off. We were all way too high. I think I was the lowest, and I was at 70. So, I mean, it didn't do what we were expecting, but it did about what it was tracking, which was 65 million. So, it underperformed a little bit. But, Gio, I'm curious to hear what you think of these numbers, and what do you take from it?
Well, to me, I look at this as a big win for Marvel with a small character.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended or any of that kind of stuff. I'm being for real. 58 million domestic and altogether 114 million worldwide.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
114 million worldwide, not a bad number. Any other blockbuster would kill for that.
Oh, yeah.
And for Marvel, this is a win. It's not the numbers we're accustomed to nowadays, with these other films coming out with these ensembles, this is very much a character focused, solo film, smaller scale. And, I think like you said, this film is going to have legs going forward. It's going to be in the top 5, moving forward for the next couple weeks. The word of mouth is going to get out. People are going to tell their friends about it, and some people like you and I are probably gonna go watch it a second time, so
which I already have.
Right,
I've seen it twice now.
Yeah,
and I was telling you earlier, I want to see it again, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna take a little bit of time.
Well, yeah, we just love movies and we're crazy. So.
I think I saw it twice in 2 days or twice in 3 days. I don't know, but I just think that Trainwreck did pretty good actually. I think they're happy with that number.
Well, then 30.2 million. Yeah.
I just didn't expect Minions to be so strong this weekend. That was a surprise to me. But
it's opening weekend. It made 115 million, and so it's about almost a little bit over like a 55%.
Yeah, I'm guessing all the kids and families that didn't see it the weekend it came out saw it this weekend, and
right.
I think that scraped away from Ant-Man's numbers because I was telling you earlier, Ant-Man is a family movie. It's a kids movie. You can take your kids to this movie and they're going to have a blast. So it should have attracted that audience, but Minions took away from that, I think.
Yeah. So, you cannot call it a failure or a flop or anything like that. will it be one of Marvel's like lesser hits? Only time will tell. We'll have to see how it does in its second week. Will the audience who saw Minions now
exactly? That's what I think is gonna happen.
Right. Yeah. And as for Minions, worldwide it stands $625 million. So
wow, bravo to them, to Illumination.
Yeah, cool for them. I haven't seen the film. I'm probably gonna wait till it comes out on DVD, Netflix, or Redbox to see it. Or
just discount day at the movie theaters.
Yeah, either that. I mean, it's just I think Minions are cute, but it's not for me, and that's it's not for everyone. Yeah. So chances are we're getting a sequel for Minions.
Oh, for sure. I mean, why not just another Despicable Me movie? I don't know. I've heard bad things about the movie. Even people that were very much looking forward to it didn't like it.
Right.
So
I've always thought of Minions as better served as side characters.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I honestly got annoyed of the Minions from the marketing. I really did. Every movie I went to go see in theaters, there was some type of Minions marketing right before it, and I just got tired of that laugh, and they don't even speak English. Like, come on, I don't know. It just 3 months ago, I was excited for Minions, but once the marketing push started coming up, like I was already done with them before I even saw the movie.
Yeah, too much of a good thing is never a good thing. And for those of you who disagree with us, please, tell us how you feel about Minions. And
if it was good, let us know.
And ideas for the sequel, let us know.
Maybe we'll love the movie. We don't know yet. We haven't seen it.
Right. And as for Trainwreck, touched on this a little bit. $30.2 million.
That's good for a hard R comedy. Judd Apatow movie.
And it's also getting good reviews, right?
Yes, it is. It is getting really pretty good reviews. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I was supposed to see it by the time we recorded this podcast, but I didn't see it yet. I'm gonna see it this week for sure. I'm going to see it tomorrow. Actually,
it's because AntMan's fucking great, man. We love it.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to see it tomorrow.
Yeah. So we'll get around to seeing Trainwreck, and we'll let you guys know our thoughts on that pretty soon.
So just a prediction: what do you think Ant-Man is going to top out at worldwide?
At the end of its run?
Yes.
I would go to $285 million.
Worldwide? Wow.
Well, it's at 140. Wait, no. I'm gonna go. Okay, never mind. Scratch that. I'm gonna go. Well, what's yours?
If that's what you think, then that's what you think.
No,
man.
because I forgot it made 114 worldwide.
I say Ant-Man's gonna top out at 450 million worldwide.
450?
Yeah.
Okay,
That would be great for them, honestly. The production budget was 130, marketing probably another 50, so 180 total spent on the movie.
Right.
And if they make 450, that's amazing.
Yeah, I totally forgot that it did 114 worldwide.
You were just thinking about the 58 million.
I was just thinking about
first?
the domestic. Yeah. But if I'll go 375.
Yeah, that's that'd be good too. They'd be happy with that, I'm sure. So, speaking of Ant-Man, let's go into our next segment. So now that we've seen Ant-Man and we've had some time to think about it, we've both seen it twice, and we've had time to let the film resonate with us. It's not the next day making bold statements like favorite Marvel movie, but I'm just curious to hear where, Gio, you rank Ant-Man within the Marvel movies now. We've had 12 Marvel movies to date. Can you guys believe that? That's crazy. 12 movies in a cinematic universe that are all interconnected, even with TV, with at least 3 TV shows that have already aired. Marvel is brilliant. They're accomplishing, they're making history. They're doing something that no one's ever done. They're the first to do it. I mean, I guess X-Men is comparable, the X-Men universe, but they didn't plan on that.
Right.
Dragging it out this long, but still props to Fox for that too. But yeah, so go ahead and give us your list, Gio. At least your top 6 if Ant-Man's even in there, or you can just give the top 12. I have the top 12 list, so.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. As far as solo character, all right. Ant-Man feels very much like a Phase 1 film. Would you agree?
A little bit, yeah. But I think that's a good.
No, yeah. So it does, and putting that into consideration, I think it's, and this is very painful for me because I really like the Incredible Hulk, but I put Ant-Man above Incredible Hulk. I put it just a bit over the first Thor.
Okay.
And also over Captain America: The First Avenger. But I put it below Iron Man.
And Winter Soldier, obviously, right?
Right.
Oh, are you talking about first movies for a character?
Yeah, I was just speaking.
Okay.
On first.
So you think it's
solo movie.
the second best first film for a character?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of just ranked Ant-Man within all of the Marvel movies. Mm-hmm. Did you do that as well or no? You just
I didn't do that, but I could probably.
Yeah.
I could probably give it a shot right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you think it lands within, including the team up films?
Oh, I have to go. Let's see. I have it number. I'll put it at number 5 right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty high.
I mean, fifth out of 12 is.
Yeah, that's good.
Bad,
that's pretty good. I remember earlier. I think our second podcast we did an Avengers: Age of Ultron spoilers discussion, and we ranked our films back then. But like this list can change every day.
It'll always change.
There's always some flip flops. You know, like I go back and forth between whether or not I like Iron Man or Captain America: The Winter Soldier more. You know, the first Iron Man and Winter Soldier. But I think so. Here's my list. I'm gonna just 12 in a row.
Give it to us. Let's hear it.
Number 1, Avengers, the first Avengers.
Right.
Number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Number 3, Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Uh-huh.
Number 4, Ant-Man.
Okay.
Number 5, Avengers: Age of Ultron. Number 6, Iron Man. Number 7, Thor, the first one. Number 8, Captain America: The First Avenger. Number 9, The Incredible Hulk. Number 10, Iron Man 3. Number 11, Thor: The Dark World. And number 12, Iron Man 2.
Whoa. Number 12, Iron Man 2?
Yeah,
really?
bro.
Damn, I thought it would have been like at least, top 5.
Yeah, right. Nah. No, I think Iron Man 2 might be the only bad movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right.
I don't think Thor: The Dark World is a bad movie. I don't think Iron Man 3 is a bad movie. I really don't.
Well, I mean, I have a different.
But I think we're going to get into that topic later, maybe.
Right. And, hats off to Peyton Reed.
Oh, my goodness. He did such a great job.
I was doing some research, and Ant-Man is barely a C-level character.
Comic book character,
because you have your A-levels like Captain America. And
the Hulk, Thor, Spider-Man,
B-level,
Wolverine.
Hawkeye,
Even Iron Man was a B-level character before this cinematic universe.
Right.
And Ant-Man was even lower than that.
Yeah, and just to accomplish what it has accomplished, so far is
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's not gonna lose the Disney or Marvel money at all.
Right.
It's gonna make a profit.
Yeah. So this $58 million and calling it a failure. Keep in mind, Ant-Man is one of the lesser known characters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Probably the most as far as
it's like making a Colossus movie from the X-Men universe.
Right.
Like it's even like people know Colossus more than Ant-Man before this movie, like it's even worse than that. So Marvel is doing a great job with Guardians and with Ant-Man introducing new characters, and hopefully they can do it again with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and what this does is it gets people looking forward to seeing more Ant-Man, in Civil War, which is where we'll see him next, interacting with the Avengers. We saw him fight.
Probably going to be in Infinity War 1 and 2.
Probably, yeah.
I would assume so. Hopefully with Wasp right by his side fighting. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I see them both taking over and being a central part of the Avengers.
Yeah, because here's the thing. The original Ant-Man and Wasp, Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, were a part of the original Avengers team. They kind of helped create the first Avengers team.
Yeah.
In the comic books is what I'm saying. So to be able to have a version of those characters in this modern MCU and have them in the Avengers is so exciting to me because their characters are very important. With their powers, they can do so much and they're so valuable to a team. And I was thinking of Ant-Man a lot the last couple days, and what they did, they established Paul Rudd. So before he even puts on the Ant-Man suit, he's already a world-class, not a thief, but
he's like a good thief, you know.
yeah, he can break into anywhere.
Yeah,
you know, and he already has those skills, and he's a master electrician too. Because remember in the beginning he says he has a master's in
electric engineering.
Yeah, exactly. So he already has that before he gets the Ant-Man suit.
Right.
So this guy who's one of the best thieves, burglars in the world, you give him that Ant-Man suit, and imagine the stuff he can accomplish. Like if the Avengers need to break into an enemy spaceship or something like that, he can do anything.
I could see him.
Imagine if they have to detonate bombs. He can do it all.
Yeah, I could see him breaking into Odin's vault in Asgard,
getting the Infinity Gauntlet
without Odin even knowing it. You know, like
he could do anything. Dude.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And Wasp is similar, but she has other sets of powers that set her apart as well. So it's very exciting, man. I just think they've knocked it out of the park with this movie, and they're taking care of the worry of who's going to take over the Avengers when Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans move on. We're establishing these characters, and I
that's
think
very much what the MCU is all about, is introducing new heroes and making them the focus about it, which is good and also bad, you know. I mean, it in the long run and for the bigger picture, it's part of their plan.
By the time Iron Man, Thor, and Hulk, and then Black Widow, Hawkeye, by the time those characters, or even Mark Ruffalo, if those actors want to move on, we're gonna have Spider-Man, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, Wasp. Yeah. I'm totally fine with Falcon, War Machine. I'm totally fine with that as my Avengers team. Scarlet Witch and Vision. They're so they got plenty of heroes to take care. I could see the possibility of, you know how they were saying that Infinity War Part 1 is going to be without the original Avengers in the movie. Right. So they could totally do that. They could have Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, and Wasp. It'll be just as entertaining, maybe even more so by then. Who knows?
Yeah, and don't forget about the Netflix characters too. You got Daredevil, Jessica
You could
Jones,
throw Daredevil in there.
Luke Cage. You got the Punisher now with John Bernthal playing.
Oh man, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna keep going, and I'm curious to see how much further the Marvel Cinematic Universe can go. Because, I mean, the minds over there are a lot more brilliant than any of us, you know. So they're planning and planning. Yeah, so
yeah, I after this movie, after Ant-Man, I don't think I'm ever gonna doubt Marvel until they prove me wrong.
Right.
I will never doubt something that I'm not so sure of, and I'm still not sure of it, is the Inhumans movie, because they're saying, a lot of people are speculating that the characters from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are gonna go in. It's gonna lead up to the Inhumans movie, and while I've heard that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2 is better than Season 1 and the show's getting better as time goes on, I don't like the tone of that show, and just like, it just feels silly. I don't see that translating into film. I don't take that Skye character seriously. I know she's playing a character from the comic books. I forget the name of that character, but that's the only one I'm unsure of. But hey, Marvel has not done me wrong since Iron Man 2, so
right.
I have faith in them.
It seems they're more comfortable with the Netflix series because it's not on network, you know, like ABC networking,
definitely.
You know, so there's not that restraint, you know. This is Netflix,
and you know, parents can kind of control, you know, what their kids watch in their home more easily than controlling what they go watch out at the movies or something. It's so easy for kids under 17 to get into rated R movies or violent movies, you know? So, wow. So, I'm just curious. So, you saw Ant-Man a second time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, did anything change after seeing it the second time? Did you like the movie more? Did you like it less? Did you notice flaws, or did you notice more positives?
Well, I liked it a little bit more than I initially did. In my review, I gave it a 7.75 out of 10, which is not bad, you know. But, I mean, some of the problems that I had when I initially watched it, like the villain, Darren Cross, Yellow Jacket, I was hoping to like him more and to see anything that I might have missed the first time around. And unfortunately, I didn't. I kind of noticed a little bit more of the problem. But I mean, just whenever you see Michael Douglas on screen with like Evangeline Lilly, his daughter, Hope Van Dyne, or with Paul Rudd, wow, Michael Douglas is like, he gave such an incredible performance. He didn't just Al Pacino it or something. He legitimately was passionate about the character and focused on it.
Yeah, you can tell he cares.
Yeah.
And you could see in interviews he's really into it. He's like, he's done his research. He's like talking about the comic book character Hank Pym. Like,
yeah.
So I think it was really fun for him to make this movie, and his kids get to see him in a Marvel movie. As a pretty important character, dude. He can play Hank Pym for 10 years because Hank Pym is not going to be fighting. Hank Pym is going to be he's going to be a leader. He's going to be like not a political leader, but just he's a veteran, He's going to be
the guide.
Imagine like he could be like a Nick Fury type character, where he, maybe he comes and helps the Avengers later on as like their director or something like that, when later on when Nick Fury moves on, who knows? Mm-hmm. Maybe him and Stark, come to an agreement where they later on after Civil War and stuff, they get along. Who knows? I think he was great in the movie though.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, other than that, I did enjoy it more. The performances were definitely better the second time around, and it's just that's all I really have to say actually.
Yeah, I loved the movie after seeing it the first time, and I was, as you guys know, I put it at number 4, the 4th best Marvel movie. That's pretty damn high. So, but before I ranked it, I wanted to see it again, and I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't being delusional. Like, this movie is really as good as I think it is. And I saw it, I watched it again, better than I even thought it was in the first place. So it's such an amazing movie because it does so many things for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They showed that they can scale things down. They showed that they can introduce a lesser known character and have it be, make him feel like he's part of this universe and make him feel like he can be there with Iron Man and Thor and Hulk. They made him feel like an A-list character because just the way they portray everything. So I really love the movie. I'm gonna wait on seeing it again because I don't want to get tired of it. Not that I will, but I kind of did that earlier this year with Age of Ultron. I saw it like 5 times in less than 3 weeks. So
you're still trying to watch it again.
And I still love Age of Ultron, and I still want to see it again. I can't find it. I don't think it's in theaters anymore. I need to figure that out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to our third segment today, which is Open Mic, where Gio and I bring up a certain subject involving movies that we want to discuss and kind of propose a situation or a question to each other. And let's start with Gio's subject. What do you got today for Open Mic, Gio?
This is something I wrote about yesterday, and you can find it on the site movietalkexpress.com. It's about comic book films that, they create their own franchises, and for some reason, the third film of every comic book movie franchise trilogy is always like it tends to be not good, like it. So I wrote up I gave a bunch of examples of movies, third installments that were just not good. You have Blade Trinity, Spider-Man 3. The Dark Knight Rises. And then if you go outside of Marvel DC, you have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. You have Men in Black 3. And then there's so much X-Men The Last Stand. So, I mean, I thought about this the other day.
Superman 3 on here.
Superman 3, yeah. And I thought about this why is this? Why is it that the third film in every, comic book franchise is always a stinker? I mean, and then I came up with other, explanations as to why it is. Like, it could be Some directors who made the first two films happen, they departed. Some directors stayed on a bit too long. It just I always wondered, like, why is that? And I wanted to get your thoughts, and also, out of all these films, which one hurt you the most as a film fan? So first question is, like, why do you think that the studios have so much trouble with the third film? Just in your opinion.
So, yeah, I was trying to think of a third comic book movie where it was good, and is there any?
Well, I mean, some make a argument for Iron Man 3.
And The Dark Knight Rises.
The Dark Knight Rises too, but for me, it's like, for The Dark Knight Rises, when you compare it to its predecessor, The Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, I actually,
it's like, what happened?
I agree with you on The Dark Knight Rises. I wasn't even reviewing movies back then when that movie came out, and I saw so many flaws. I got bored in the scene where Batman's in prison the whole time. Like, I got bored of. I shouldn't be bored in a Batman movie
because he's gonna get out.
Like, it dragged on for so long, and that's not the only flaw in that movie. There's so many. Near the end, the fight, like the battle, all the battles going on in the streets at the end are so sloppily cut and stuff. So, anyways, I think I answered your first question already. That The Dark Knight Rises hurt me because Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, probably, honestly, the best 1-2 punch in any comic book movie. Mm-hmm. X-Men and X2 give it a run for its money.
Spider-Man 2, yeah.
Yeah. So, I was hurt a lot by The Dark Knight Rises because coming off the Heath Ledger Joker, and even regardless of Heath Ledger's performance, that is a great movie.
Yes.
It's so fantastic. It doesn't even have to be considered a superhero movie. It's like
well paced.
It's like a crime thriller, like a mob movie,
Right.
It's crazy. So, but as far as the reason why this happens, I think there's a few reasons. I do think, for example, Sam Raimi directing Spider-Man 3, I think he should have moved on from that franchise after the second one. I know there was a lot of complications. He wanted to put is that his name? Raven the Hunter, or
Kraven the Hunter.
Kraven the Hunter.
Right.
Sorry, excuse me. He wanted him to be in the movie instead of Venom, and the studios, nope, they want Venom. So I feel like that had to him and the studio not getting along had a lot to do with it, and maybe relationships get sour after a company and one director working together for so long. Also, I think another problem is that, so in the first movie of a franchise, they establish the character, they introduce them, they show you what they can do with their abilities, so on and so forth. In the second movie, you kind of raise the stakes a little bit, but you put the hero in a different situation than he was in the first one, and more dangerous and a little bit higher stakes. But in the third one, they try to go so huge scale, like big bonanza movie. It has to be more CGI, more, bigger budget. Why do you always have to go bigger? Why not just keep things simple? Why not just have the character facing off with one villain again? I think that's one of the bigger problems. Like with Spider-Man 3, they tried to infuse the Sandman story into us. We didn't need the Sandman in there.
There was much.
And then there was the Harry Osborn thing going on,
the Goblin thing,
and the Venom thing. All this going on at the same time. It felt like Amazing Spider-Man 2. Where
not to mention Peter Parker's emo, and all that kind of stuff.
Even back then, I was like 15 when that movie came out, and I noticed how bad it was the first time I saw it. So that's saying something, because a lot of times, like back then when I was a kid, if I was able to know a movie's bad, then it must be really bad. Mm-hmm. Because I liked the Star Wars prequels and the Fantastic Four movies back then, and I was able to see that these movies are bad. So I do think that, it has to do with the director either getting fatigued by the material or them trying to raise the stakes too high. And I gotta say, I read your article on here, and I agree with most of it. I disagree with Iron Man 3. Right. I think it's a good movie.
And that's why I put, for me personally, Iron Man 3 was a disappointment.
Oh, there was some stupid stuff in that movie. Don't get me wrong. I could rant about that movie for an hour about the things that are wrong with it. But overall, I do like the movie. I like where they put the situation they put Tony Stark in. It kind of brought things like they did scale it down a little bit in Iron Man 3. They didn't do the thing I'm talking about where they tried to raise the stakes. Iron Man was in this closed story that he couldn't get out of, he wasn't able to contact anybody. He was isolated. So I didn't mind Iron Man 3 as much. But yeah, as far as the reasons why, like I said, the directors, the studio, and the writers trying to do too much with the third movies.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that X-Men: The Last Stand wasn't like your didn't hurt you the most.
I don't mind X-Men: The Last Stand as much. I acknowledge it's not a good movie.
I mean,
but
what they did in that movie, they killing Professor X, killing Cyclops after mistreating him.
That stuff was horrible. But there's stuff that I really like in that movie, like the end battle scene. Mm-hmm. I think it's awesome when you see the Beast fighting and you see Iceman go full ice and Magneto. I mean, even though it's kind of stupid why he broke the bridge and carried it, it looked cool. It was unnecessary, but it looked cool. So I was a kid when that came out, so I don't mind that movie as much. But honestly, Spider-Man 3 and The Dark Knight Rises they stabbed me in the heart with those movies. So.
And I just have two quick questions. First, which of these is your guilty pleasure movies? Like one that you'll just like, all right, like I have to watch. Like, okay, like
out of the ones here, probably X-Men: The Last Stand, like I was just talking about.
Something that you'll just
I
watch.
acknowledge that it's not a great movie and there's some stupid stuff, but yeah, out of all of those movies, I mean, like I said, I don't think Iron Man 3 is a bad movie, so not counting Iron Man 3, I say I enjoy X-Men: The Last Stand out of all those the most.
Mm-hmm. And you guys out there, let us know your guilty pleasures and your opinions on this topic. And check out the article on MovieTalkExpress.com. And my last question is, keeping all this in mind, are you worried about the upcoming third installment films for Captain America Civil War, Thor Ragnarok, or X-Men Apocalypse? When looking at this article, does any of it worry you? Does any of it have a chance of being bad, or so on and so forth?
So, no, none of those movies worry me, because if you look at, so a lot of these movies came out before the Marvel Cinematic Universe was established, Mm-hmm. So I think Marvel knows what they're doing. So as far as Thor Ragnarok and Civil War, I think with the Russo brothers, they directed, this is their second movie with Marvel. So I don't think they're fatigued. And the thing is, there's two of them. So I think directing duos are able to, whatever pressure they take on and whatever fatigue they take on, it's two of them taking it on. So they end up being less fatigue and there's less pressure because there's two of them. So I trust the Russo brothers, especially after Winter Soldier. And I think they're going to do a great job with Civil War. Mm-hmm. With Thor Ragnarok, it's not going to be Alan Taylor who directed Thor 2, which half of that movie I don't really like. So I don't think it's going to be that situation where the director's fatigued, and I trust Marvel. They know what they're doing. They're not going to, even though Ragnarok is going to be one of those high-scale movies, I don't think that they're going to do it cheesily. And what was the other movie?
X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh no, I'm not worried about that. I trust Bryan Singer, and like I was saying, it's not like he directed First Class and Days of Future Past, and now he's doing Apocalypse. And I think he had enough of a break between X2 and X-Men Days of Future Past that he's not even fatigued. I think he loves this universe. I think he's going to do a great job. Are you worried about any of those movies?
Not necessarily. Captain America Civil War, I love the director, I love the ensemble, and Marvel is a well-oiled machine. They can handle this stuff. X-Men Apocalypse, no. The only thing that might worry me is
look of Apocalypse.
That damn Apocalypse photo.
I didn't know they were crossing over with Power Rangers and X-Men. I didn't know Ivan Ooze was Apocalypse. That's crazy.
I know, right?
It makes total sense.
It might be his son. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, Bryan Singer, he's 5 X-Men films in. He hasn't given me a reason to doubt him. So we'll see.
He's made 3 great X-Men movies.
Yeah.
So hopefully he makes a 4th.
Did I say 5? He's 4.
No. You said this is his
This is fourth.
Oh, this is his fourth. Yeah, I didn't catch it either.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, you guys let us know what you think on this in the comments section, and that's my open mic segment.
All right. So for me, it's kind of a different type of question this week. It doesn't really have to do with movie news or specific movies. It's just, so I was thinking about how we score movies, not just you and I, but all the critics around, on the web and everywhere. I was just thinking about, how do you determine your score? Like, because up until this point, I kind of just pick a number I'm comfortable with. Like, if a movie's like one of the best movies I've ever seen, it's getting a 9.5 or a 9. If it's really good and I really liked it, it's getting an 8 or 8.5. If it's like, if I enjoyed the movie a lot, but it had a lot of problems that I noticed, it gets a 7. Like, I just kind of picked a number that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
But I have a proposal. I came up with an idea of how we can maybe start ranking these movies. I think I'm gonna use this as my guideline to reviewing movies. So here's my idea.
Let's hear it.
Obviously there's hundreds of different elements that go into making a movie, right? There's from everything to the costumes, the special effects, there's everything. But I broke it down to 5 important, the top 5 most important elements of a movie.
Yeah.
And I was saying, if we rank each of those elements and then come to a total percentage, and then that could be the score. So I had a hard time coming to the top 5 most important things, but this is what I got, and I think it kind of covers everything. And I'm curious to hear if you think I'm missing anything, or you think this is a formidable way to review movies. So I think first and foremost, you start with the script. The script involves story, dialogue, characters, and anything else like the first act, second act, third act, all that stuff is all script.
The direction.
Well, direction is separate.
Oh, okay.
So that's all script. So you judge the story as a whole, the characters, because the writers write the characters, and all the dialogue and all that stuff goes into script. So you can look at one movie and say, oh, the script was pretty good, the characters were really good, the story was awesome. Boom, the script gets a 9 out of 10. And then second element, direction. Direction includes acting, pacing of the movie, and the overall structure of the film and how it's all put together. And the ultimate outcome of the whole movie is directing. So you can judge all those things and give it a score. So let's say, you give direction an 8 out of 10. And then the third element, technical aspects, which would involve cinematography, special effects, lighting. Different movies are going to have different technical elements. Some movies don't have special effects at all. Some movies have practical effects. Some movies use certain cameras, and some use film, some use digital. So anything that has to do with technical aspects, you would rank. So let's say you're ranking the Star Wars prequels. Okay, maybe the story gets a 5, but the technical aspects get a 10 because the special effects are so awesome. Fourth element, genre. How well does that movie play to the genre that it's trying to attract? Because you have to base each movie on what it's trying to be. For example, we just watched Poltergeist the other night. So how well of a horror movie did it accomplish what a horror movie is supposed to be? Was it scary? Did it scare us? Was it creepy? So if you thought it did do that, then you give it an 8 or a 9 out of 10. If you thought it didn't scare you at all, you give it like a 3 or 4 or 5. And then the fifth element is entertainment value. How fun is the movie? How enjoyable is it? How much is it going to appeal to a wide audience? So my idea is we score each of these elements, and then you come to a final score, and that way it's a more rounded review of the whole movie and all the important elements. So you got script, direction, technical aspects, genre, and entertainment value. So I'm curious to hear what you think of this idea, and do you think it's formidable to critique movies?
Yeah, I think it's I like that idea. It covers all the the major elements of what makes a movie a movie. Yeah. And I'm willing to give it a shot. I think you really created something here that's even. You can it's kind of like giving an average. You take
exactly
this, and then
because I'm saying you can give each of these a score out of 10, and then you add it all up because there's 5, so a possible of 50. Let's say you you end up with a 40 out of 50, and then I think that's 80%, right? So then the movie that's an 8.
Yeah.
So then now you know why you came to an 8, because you looked over all of these, you know?
Right.
Do you think there was anything missing? Like, was there anything like something big that I'm missing in here?
I don't think so, because as you were going, I was wondering, okay, are you going to cover like what this film is trying to be?
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I did with the genre, because you have to rank every movie based on its specific niche. Like, what, you know, was Trainwreck a good comedy?
Like San Andreas, you know.
Was
like,
San Andreas a good disaster movie? As far as being a disaster movie, it gets a 10.
Yeah, because I mean the problem that you know, a lot of people out there have, I'm not generalizing or categorizing anyone, it's just I see it out there, is that they'll say like I don't know, they'll say like Hercules by Dwayne Johnson was like a terrible film, like so bad, and it's like, okay, why is it so bad?
Yeah, you gotta explain why.
It's boring, you know. It's just it's not. It doesn't compare to the Avengers, and I'm like, whoa, hold on here. Okay, so first of all, you're comparing this film to something that's kind of outside its genre, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So this way you don't have to worry about comparing an Oscar drama movie to a comic book movie, because that's covered in this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's because what genre that movie is, and if it accomplishes that, the goal of being that genre is important, I think. And then I think entertainment value is important too, because so I think like the big critics, like some of the Rotten Tomato scorers, you know, they don't consider entertainment value a lot when it comes to movies, you know? Like a movie, I'm trying to think of an example. Let's see. Like let's stick with San Andreas, like we were just talking about. So, you know, story, dialogue, and characters, San Andreas would probably get like a 4, you know? But technical aspects, the visuals, the special effects, almost an 8 or a 9.
Yeah.
And the entertainment value, 8 or a 9. So it kind of evens it out. It brings a movie like San Andreas, which, okay, people will say the script was bad, the story was bad. All right, it's a bad movie. Wait, why don't you look at the other things? What about the technical aspects? What about the direction? What about the genre it was trying to play to? All that stuff is important in reviewing movies. So I think this, while it's not perfect, I think this is a good way to review movies, and I think that's how I'm going to start reviewing movies.
It's something that you know, you apply to your practice, and you'll find things that, you know, you want to change up a little bit.
Exactly. I was going to say, it doesn't have to stay the same all the time. It's going to alter over time. So.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you out there listening, you know, let us know in the comments, you know, give us your suggestions on what could make this formula better, or what is not needed or necessary here. And so
please let us know. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think I'm missing something? Do you think one of my elements we can do without? I'm really curious to hear what you say. And I just thought I needed to come up with the way, because a lot of people ask me, all right, did you like Ant-Man? Oh yeah, I get it's a 9 out of 10. And they're like, why is it a 9 out of 10? How'd you come up with that number? So I wanted, do you really want to know? All right, I gave the script da. You know, I can really explain how I determined this number. So I think it's what I'm going to start doing from now on, and hopefully Gio will join in on
and
that.
It's perfect, because summer is winding down, and we're starting to get into those.
And how well is this going to play to the Oscar movies and stuff?
Yeah. So yeah, good job, man. I like it.
All right, well, thanks, man. I'm glad to get your opinion. Well, that's going to do it for the MTE Podcast episode number 9 for the week of July 20th today, and this will be up on Wednesday the 22nd by then. Well, thank you all for listening. It was a fun discussion today about Ant-Man, its box office, you know, some superhero movies,
we
and
went
like
a little
always
bit into Marvel.
Yeah, and I enjoyed the review discussion. I'm really excited about that new idea I came up with. So thanks all for listening. Again, you can find our site at movietalkexpress.com. You can find our Facebook at Movie Talk Express, Twitter at Movie Talk EX. You can find me, Jacob Bartley, on Twitter at Jake Ryan Bartley. And please don't forget to follow our YouTube channel. Hit that like button if you liked anything else. And Gio, where can they find you at?
You guys can find me on Facebook, Giorgio Ramos, on Twitter, Giorgio Ramos 24, and on Movie Talk Express every day.
Yeah, thanks again. See you next week.